There's quite an introduction to the oldest ballpark in the USA, Fenway Park in Boston. A very warm welcome to Liverpool against Roma. The start of that Barclays Premier League season just 3.5 weeks away now for Brendan Rodgers and Liverpool. Roma have a little further to wait, but it should be fascinating. A second meeting at Fenway Park between these sides. Roma won it 2-1 2 years ago, and of course the game that's always in your mind when these teams meet is that European Cup final from 1984, when Liverpool, you won't need reminding, were victorious. It is certainly a unique venue. Wonderful old-school baseball stadium here at Fenway Park, and two relatively strong sides named as well. Roma in their new away kit that they're modelling, which is modelled on the 1970s cup kit that they used to wear. I would suggest one of the better football kits around this European season, but so many features here at Fenway Park. The green monster, the big wall away to your left, and Pesky's pole, the triangle. It is rich with history, and two storied clubs here. Of course, plenty of fans of Liverpool and Roma here in Boston for many reasons. There's a link with the Red Sox from John W. Henry, who's here in attendance, and also James Pallotta, the owner of the Boston Celtics, who is the president of Roma. So that's the reason that they're playing here before they both head off to continue their tours of the USA with different opposition. Olympiacos, Manchester City, and Milan for Liverpool, and Roma to move on to tougher challenges. Well, apologies, we're just experiencing some issues, of course, with our pictures. But Fenway Park is ready for Liverpool against Roma. No Steven Gerrard, no Adam Lallana, plenty of big names not in this Liverpool side. Just back in training on Monday, the England players, apart from Ricky Lambert, who does start here tonight. But lots to enjoy. An interesting bench as well, named by Brendan Rodgers. Two very interesting members of the back four as well, in Sebastian Coates and Jose Enrique, who plays his first start since the 5th of October 2013.
Ladies and gentlemen, April 15th, 1989 will forever be etched in the memory of everyone connected with Liverpool Football Club. It was a day when 96 supporters attended a football match and never came home. Now please join us in observing a moment of silence as a mark of respect and commemoration during this 25th anniversary year to remember the 96. Kenny Dalglish will also release 96 red balloons. The minute's silence will start and end on the referee's whistle.
Nice touch that. Respect all around the world for Liverpool Football Club and all that it stands for. Great respect between these two clubs as well. Interesting setup, isn't it, here? You don't see this very often. Those temporary goals moved into the baseball diamond. Brendan Rodgers, thankfully, recovered from the illness that struck him down on the flight to the USA. Wasn't able to give a press conference for quite some time, but getting back towards full fitness, and of course with a big season ahead for Liverpool. And talking of Liverpool, joined by one of their former players here tonight, Dean Saunders. And Dean, it's a big season for Brendan Rodgers, because having set the standard, they have to keep it up, don't they?
Yeah, but I think it's such a big thing to qualify for the Champions League. You're able to get players who have got a choice of 4 or 5 clubs that they can choose from. They choose Liverpool now because the traditions there, they were just missing the Champions League, and that obviously you get them players and you get better results, and the whole thing snowballs. So brilliant season last season, and this is the start of a new one. So hopefully things go well in pre-season, no bad injuries, and Liverpool get on the starting grid in 3 weeks with everybody fit.
Well, we are just about ready. 1 or 2 interesting names dotted around. Lucas Skorupski, you can see here, the young Pole who's in the Roma goal. Morgan De Sanctis is rested here today, and this is very much how it works in pre-season. Of course, players gradually making their way back. Serie A doesn't start until the end of August, so Roma have a couple more weeks, and you can see the work they've done here on the pitch to make it playable as Liverpool's pre-season journey continues, all building towards that opening Barclays Premier League fixture against, of all teams, Southampton, of course. What with Lambert and Lallana and maybe Lovren as well. It'll be an interesting meeting, that one. Early touch for the youngster Michele Sommer, and bounces off Radja Nainggolan. It'll be a Liverpool throw. Still getting used to the idea of Ashley Cole in a Roma shirt as well.
Yeah, I have to say I quite like the kit. It's going back to the old days. They've obviously brought it back again, but yeah, it is Ashley Cole, great signing for Roma. I still think he's one of the best left backs in the world. They've got a really strong team out, although they've got a few missing. They've still got a strong team out, and Liverpool have got a stronger team out than they had in the last game. And have got a really good bench with Henderson's back on there, but some of the big hitters aren't there. Sturridge and Gerrard, Lallana, but it's still a strong squad.
Forward by Sebastian Coates.
He's hit one out of the park there.
Yeah, not the most settling of starts that. There is Ashley Cole, who's had plenty to say on social media over the last couple of weeks. Quite enjoyed his last tweet, which was along the lines of, I tell you what, I'll worry about my team and you will worry about yours, and we'll see what happens at the end of the season. It certainly sent out a message, whatever you think of it. Here's Iturbe, Roma's new signing from Verona. Had such a stellar season in Serie A, having moved from Argentina, the man they call the new Messi, and what a chance he has in Rome. There's Lambert. Came back early, didn't he, to pre-season training for the World Cup, so keen to make an impression at his boyhood club. What a story he is. Just shows if you keep trying, you never know where you might end up.
Yeah, he's gone through all the divisions, I think, and he'll definitely bring a new aspect to Liverpool's game. You know, any crosses that are hung up at the back post, they'll be attacking it. So something they haven't had. I think he's a great signing for him. And he can't wait. He come back early from the summer holidays, and he's ready to go.
Here's Coutinho. Rather lazy lunge into the challenge there from another Roman new man, Seydou Keita, the Malian, formerly of Barcelona. Another 30-something they picked up on a free, and a useful squad player as Roma look to challenge again for the Serie A title. And there are many who feel that they have a major chance this season with what's happened at Juve. Antonio Conte gone, their great leader. Garcia will never have a better chance with Roma. Here's Joe Allen for Liverpool, though. Suggest that was a pre-season misunderstanding there.
Well, you don't normally see Joe Allen that far up the pitch. He's normally the man that gets the ball off the back four and gets Liverpool playing, but he can't. I had him at Wrexham. I had him on loan from Swansea when I was manager of Wrexham, and he can run forward. He can do a bit of everything. Great attitude. There's a couple of good players there waiting to get on.
Yeah, what a big season ahead for Daniel Sturridge, who's on the tour, but not on the bench here. Plenty of games to come, and of course plenty of recovering for players like him to do. Not just physically, but emotionally as well after the World Cup.
Yeah, they'll be itching to start playing again, though, and you know they're not on the bench tonight, as you said, but Liverpool's bench really good. Jack Robinson's on there. Peterson scored a goal last week. Connor Cody, Shan's on there. Agger, Henderson, Danny Ward. Good, it's a good all-round 11 plus the bench.
Here is Joe Allen. The most interesting inclusion in this Liverpool side, by the way, has to be Fabio Borini, formerly of Roma, and seemingly on his way to Sunderland, but that appears to have broken down, so maybe he's in the shop window, or maybe something to prove to the manager.
Was it personal terms that, I think it was, wasn't it? Personal terms they couldn't agree? Or?
Yeah, I'm not sure the official story has come out yet, but it would seem to have broken down.
Yeah, well, maybe Brendan's put him in the shop window today, or he's had a chat with him and said, look, if you're not going, there's a shirt, prove to me you want to be here.
There's one of Liverpool's solid citizens, Lucas. The more you look at this Liverpool squad, the more you realise just how it's being built with a view to challenging on two fronts at least. Here is Fabio Borini. Chance for him to impress not just Liverpool, but also his old club. Now Coutinho. Yeah, Jordan Ibe, what a pre-season he's had so far, on loan at Birmingham for much of last year, certainly towards the end of the season, and he's created all 3 Liverpool pre-season goals.
And he was excellent last week. He came on second half and turned the game round, and he looks a really good prospect. Obviously going to Birmingham last year has helped him.
Foul there on Borini. Okay. Well, that wouldn't be ideal, would it? It's a player that you're trying to put into the shop window picks up an injury.
Yeah, looks like he's holding his shoulder. Maybe he's just fallen a bit awkward on it. He's all right.
There's Keita. Plenty of action coming up, of course, here with us on BT Sports. Details below. There's Leandro Castan. Now Florenzi, who scored here against Liverpool a couple of years ago. Allen. That was a bit of a hack there on Jordan Ibe. Iturbe with the challenge. What a season ahead for him.
Yeah,
everyone
really
seemed to want him, and Roma got him.
Yeah, he's a really good player. Bit reckless, that challenge, but he hasn't touched the ball yet, so he's probably just trying to get into the game. Martin Kelly's got a bit of a problem here. He looks like they've done some work on the pitch. Obviously, he's 3rd and 4th base, and it's right in his area. So as the right back, it'd be a little bit off-putting for him. If that's been re-turfed, you get a different feel completely.
Very impressed by your baseball knowledge. 3rd and 4th base. I suspect it might have been made up as Allen plays it forward. Scissored away by Mehdi Benatia, who's another very interesting figure. Seemed that he was on his way to Manchester City and was agitating for that move, and it hasn't come about. Garcia said he's a Roma player next season for sure. We'll see.
It looks like Liverpool, Coutinho and Lucas are the two sitters, where Joe Allen's going and joining Lambert, which is normally you'd see Coutinho in behind Lambert, but must be giving Joe a go there.
Forward by Nainggolan. Here's Francesco Totti. Iturbe again, rather lunging into a challenge. The new man looks very keen to prove himself. Still going strong, entering his 21st season as a professional football player. Watched the 1984 European Cup final on TV with his mum and dad. Watched as his heart was broken when Liverpool won it on penalties. Used to be a ball boy at the Olimpico for Roma. I suspect he'll end up coaching them one day.
Incredible, isn't it? You can stay at one club for so long, and do so well year in, year out. He scored lots and lots of important goals. Been a great player. Barini looks as if he's in a bit of trouble. He's shaking his head. It looks as if he's a nasty bang on his shoulder. Sometimes they can just pop on the top.
No matter how severe it is, we're going to see how it happened here, maybe, Dean. Is it that there, little twist as he fell?
Just there, as the lads landed on him. Just now, he just lands in there, and he's just.
And Keita is, as they say, a unit, isn't he?
You don't want him falling on you.
But you really couldn't make it up in terms of pre-season injuries. The one player that you don't want to get injured, the one maybe that you're trying to sell.
It doesn't look too bad. I don't think he's dislocated his shoulder. It's terrible pain when you get a dislocation of his shoulder, and he'd be in agony now. So I think he might end up going back on. He's not happy, he's shaking his head. Could be the end for him.
Well, here's Keita.
As you can see, Liverpool's shape there, 4-5-1. The three midfield players will rotate and take it in turns to go and join Lambert. Back forward playing a high line, really high.
Well, Roma don't have a great deal of pace in their side, so might be the sensible thing to do. I can't really see anyone bar Florenzi and possibly Iturbe running in behind Liverpool.
No, so they just compress in the midfield. If you look at the gap between the back four and Lambert now, that's ideal where you want it to be, providing no one's running in behind you.
Here's Totti. Look how deep he drops to pick up possession. Never waits for it to come to him. He goes looking for it. Just slightly overhit there for Ashley Cole.
Well, we were talking before the game about Roma don't really play with an out-and-out striker, and they just make runs into spaces, and Totti plays quite deep.
Well, they are making a change. Man who picked up a knock in game against Preston, Emre Can, is on. Joined newly from Bayer Leverkusen. And that is a blow for Fabio Barini. It's maybe a precautionary one, but still a blow.
Yeah, he'll be really disappointed. Because I would suspect that Brendan Rodgers has said to him, look, there's a shirt, prove to me you want to be at Liverpool and stay at the club. And if you do well, you'll stay in the team.
Totti trying to win it back. Lucas just about holding on to it. There's poor old Martin Kelly trying to deal with all that cut strip down there. Get the impression it wouldn't be the worst place to enjoy a game of baseball in these old surroundings. 1912 this stadium was built, and it has that real air of history about it.
It's from a player's point of view, it's something different, and you really enjoy playing in a game like this. The crowd react differently, believe it or not. You know, there'll be a lot of Americans in the crowd who just react different to chances and shots. It's like an unusual atmosphere.
And if you are playing for a club the size of Liverpool or Roma, I think it's an education to come to places like Boston and realise just how big your club is, in case you didn't already know. There's Rudy Garcia, what a job he's done. Coach Lille to the double in France, and coached Roma to a surprisingly brilliant season last time round. Will he crack it, though?
Well, had an excellent start. I think they won 11 games, the first 11 games. I think they could do it this year. You know, they've got a few missing. De Rossi's missing, Piacci, Strootman, Destro. So they're not at full strength, but they've still got a really good team out there today. But as we were just saying, there's not many of them running in behind Liverpool's defence, so Liverpool will be quite pleased with that. Just let them play in front of you, steal the ball back, counter-attack.
Here's Emre Can. Interesting news breaking this evening that Davide Astori, who seems certain to join Lazio from Cagliari, that move may well have been hijacked by Roma, and he might be on his way. And there's Barini, who doesn't look too happy with life at the moment. It was such a big day for him as well, playing against his old club, and a chance to prove plenty. It's a shame how things sometimes work out, isn't it? Let's hope it's not too bad anyway.
No, it's just like a bit of a freak injury, really. The number of times you fall over in a game and tangle up with defenders, and for him to just land, I think all the defenders' weight just went on his shoulder at the wrong time. So hopefully it's not too bad.
There's Coates. Here's Emre Can. Kelly getting forward into the part of the pitch where he's got a chance of controlling the ball. What a big season ahead for him as well. Almost a forgotten man for Liverpool and for England as well. Remember, he has an England cap, and he was very much in Roy Hodgson's thoughts. Very adaptable player, Martin Kelly.
Yeah, good, all-hearted, good athlete. As you say, he's just been a little bit forgotten, but this is pre-season, is always a chance for, you know, the manager's got a budget. He'll look at the budget and he'll think, right, can I afford to buy these big hitters players, you know, these very expensive players? And if some of these young players can come and show him that I'll do a job for you, he can save money at the end of his budget by just keeping them in the squad. The likes of Jack Robinson, who's been out on loan. I had him at Wolves and he's been on Blackpool on loan. He's got to show this pre-season that I can fill in at right back if you need me, and that'll save Brendan going out and spending some more money.
Hopefully he learnt something from you about football at Wolves. I tell you what, he'll have learnt plenty about life at Blackpool.
He got a few red cards, Jack. He's really competitive, and hopefully he's learnt from last year. I think he got a few red cards for just being a bit rash in his challenges, but really good footballer.
Yeah, hopefully a chance today for the likes of Connor Cody and Adam Phillips as well. Danny Ward's on the bench, the goalkeeper too. Great experience, you really hope they get on, and I'm sure Brendan Rodgers is aware of that too. But even in pre-season, the result is everything. Coates. Here's Nainggolan, who is such a tough battler in that midfield. Now Totti. No foul on Iturbe. And here's a first chance for Jordan Ibe to run and show us his pace. Well, he just ran into Benatia. You see, there's a test. Benatia probably the best defender in Serie A last season, and there's a test for the young man, and he didn't pass it with flying colours. And now a chance for Florenzi to charge, and just wondered for a moment if he'd left something on the goalkeeper, Brad Jones, there. Here's Iturbe. Now Ashley as well, I think. Now Leandro Castan. Interesting times, though, for Ashley Cole, and times that you've experienced as a player as well, settling into a club abroad.
Yeah, like different language, and, you know, the hardest part I found early, you know, the little things like, just watch this, little things like leave it, pass it, and little things that you just take for granted, or give just when you're shouting for the ball, you can't get it out quick enough. You try and learn the basics of the language. For the first few months, that's your biggest problem. But then obviously settling into living in a different house in a different country. If you've got your family with you, making sure they're all settled in. But I love playing abroad. It's just like a completely new lease of life. He signed for a good team though, Ashley.
Well, we could have a English Serie A winner, remember that, at the end of the season. Here's Coutinho, and not too sure there about Lucas Skorupski's positioning, but he got away with it, the young goalkeeper, in the end.
Yeah, he's got nowhere near that, but there was a lot of pace on the ball from Coutinho. Good delivery. Ricky Lambert, you'd fancy him to get on the end of them, put enough of them in the box.
He might be an inspired signing, you know, in the end, Ricky Lambert.
Well, when he played for Southampton, obviously they've got a lot of good young players around him, and he used to just lay the ball off and head for the back post. And they were all told, anytime you're getting a cross in position, hang it up at the back post, and he's coming and attacking everything. And then people don't give him credit for the skill he's got on the floor, because he's got 2 good feet and a bit of skill.
Yeah, remember, great free kick taker, one of the best penalty kick takers around. Plenty more to him than just being the big powerhouse.
No, and he's different to what they've got. Like you can use him off the bench, or you can start him in certain games where you think there's a weakness in the opposition's back four height-wise, or they get done at back post from crosses. You can play him in them games, but he'll be trying his best. You know that. You know, he's from the area. Great signing, I think.
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers has always been acutely aware of the soul of Liverpool Football Club, and Ricky Lambert's signing is a stroke of genius in that area as well.
It's Colin Pascoe there, Brendan's right-hand man. Really thorough in his work, good coach. And he's got Mike Marsh there, who was I played with when I was at Liverpool. He's a really good footballer, real hard worker. But you know, if you went into the team of people they've got now, it used to be assistant manager, coach, physio, kit man. Now there must be like 35, all sorts.
Here's Totti. You know he's going to strike one, and well, he nearly caught a hold of it. It's interesting, talking of the atmosphere, Dean was mentioning it earlier, it is a strange one, not just in terms of the crowd reaction, but in terms of the shape of the stadium as well. It does lead to a strange feeling, but hey, that's what pre-season's about in many ways. Different experiences as a player, as a fan, as a TV viewer as well. Lambert's going to chase, but Skorupski's going to come.
A lot of the Liverpool players seem to overhit in their passes at the moment, where you know, the atmosphere is a little bit different as well. The ball's flying. We've seen 3 or 4 passes now gone out the other end, miles too hard.
There's Coutinho. Here's Shan. Loic Remy, of course, is in town, completing a medical and ahead of his move, which, talking of inspired signings, another that could be a really useful one.
Yeah, he scored lots of goals in France, the QPR last season. Scored some important goals for them.
Well, Newcastle will tell you what a good finisher he is too.
Yeah.
Here's Coutinho turning into trouble. Good piece of defending that by Ashley Cole. There's Florenzi. At the moment, the right-footed player's playing on the left and the left-footed player on the right, Florenzi and Iturbe, but they can switch at any time.
The Liverpool's high line is stopping Roma playing through, and there you go.
Totti went way too early there.
But the midfield players are in touch with the front and the back players of Liverpool, like Joe Allen and Lucas. So the instructions from Roma's side should be just get some players running in behind. hit some longer passes in behind Liverpool's defence.
Ibe just tripping and falling there. Totti trying to win it back. And then drifted in towards Ricky Lambert. Now Kelly. So far, defeat against Brøndby and win over Preston for Liverpool in pre-season. Depends how much you read into those results, though. There's Coutinho. Here's Ibe. What a trail Raheem Sterling has blazed for Jordan Ibe, and he's talked about it the last couple of weeks, that having seen what Raheem Sterling has done, he feels he can do the same.
Yeah, it gives him a bit of belief. He had a great chance there running at the right back. And I thought, it's easy from where we're sat, I thought he was going to push it past him on his left foot. He decided to come inside, but they'd ganged up on him in the middle of the pitch. I thought he should have just gone, touch, show him how quick you are, get to the byline, try and stand one up for Ricky Lambert. But as you said, he's one of the best defenders in Serie A, so he's got a test today.
But I really like that about pre-season and these sort of challenges, and Brendan Rodgers, I think, would like it too. Yeah, you've done well against Brøndby and Preston, Sunshine, and this fella got in most people's European Team of the Year last year, so have a run at him and see how you do. But it's all part of that learning process.
Yeah, and like the higher up you go, the most obvious difference is the speed of thought from all the players, but especially I found the defenders at international level just were already there. When you were going to make a run, they'd already be there. You come back down a couple of leagues and you might get in behind somebody, where these top players, you don't get in behind them as a striker.
Here's Keita. Yeah, Paul Walsh, who was a terrific player, of course, for Liverpool amongst many others, tells a very self-deprecating story about playing against Franco Baresi along those lines. Here's Ashley Cole. Kelly had his hands in the air there, and I think Cole was making that point, but it's behind for a corner kick. Roma fans are like that. That's what Cole will bring to the side, and Lijic across to take the corner kick.
Well, that was the first time they did get in between the lines and play through Liverpool. Ended up with Ashley Cole getting forward and getting a crossing. I don't think it was a penalty.
Florenzi's going to hit one, and ricocheted kindly, nearly fell to Iturbe, and now here's Lambert. Ibe thought he was on, and then saw the flag. It was close, though.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was a clever bit of defending. He just stepped up the defender at the right time, or Ibe's just set off too early. I'd like to see that one again.
Yeah, still just 18 years of age, and an awful lot you feel ahead of him. There's Nainggolan. Now Benatia. Rumours linking him with Chelsea over the last couple of days after the City move fell through. Here's Lijic. Famously a combustible and rather awkward character, Adam Lijic. Oh dear, that's a fairly cheap concession of a corner there by Kelly, who wasn't quite sure where he was, I think, and where those around him were. So better safe than sorry.
But that's what Roma have got to do. They've got to put some balls in behind the back four, and they've got a couple of corners out of it already.
Of course, Gervinho not here on an extended break. Borriello and Destro in particular much missed. Looking forward to seeing Salih Ushan, their new loan signing, very stylish Turkish central midfielder. Here's Nainggolan. No question that Roma, with Garcia at the helm, are coming for the title. They've only sent Totti on his way with the Scudetto, wouldn't it be a story? Here's Iturbe.
Yes, what they're trying to do, Roma, is they're trying to keep the ball, they switch it from side to side. The three midfield players are taking it in turns to come deep and get the ball. They're trying to pull Liverpool's five-man midfield out of shape so that their wingers can come in the pockets, in behind Liverpool's midfield, and then they can get Ashley Cole and the right back bombing on and get crosses in. So Liverpool have just, the midfield have just got to keep the discipline, keep filling holes. When you win the ball, try and break on them.
That was interesting as Lucas slid in to win it there against Lajic. Lajic didn't like that challenge much and had a little dig back at Lucas. Doesn't take much to tip Adam Lajic over the top. He's certainly grown up a lot in the last couple of years, but famously punched by a former coach. Here's Leandro Castan. Now Cole.
That is a high line. That Liverpool's back four. Dangerous.
Now Ibe. Hasn't been a chance on goal in the opening half hour of the game. Dribbles away there behind for a goal kick for Liverpool. Well, lots of action coming up with us Friday night, 3 AM. West Ham United take on Sydney FC. Chance, of course, to keep your eye across all these Barclays Premier League pre-season preparations. And Saturday morning, 5:30 AM, an early start if you're a Newcastle fan. They're up against Wellington Phoenix. And plenty of action for Night Owls. Then again, if you're watching with us, you'll be a Night Owl, so I'm sure you'll be watching those as well.
Now, if you could just watch the build-up play, Liverpool's midfield five there, just trying not to get pulled out of shape. And Roma are just trying to move them around. And Liverpool, their back line is they're trying to keep as high as they can. If they drop off 10 yards, there'll be holes to play in. But it's interesting to see how long it is before the Roma players work out. We've got to take it in turns to run in behind Skirtle. And that'll create the space for the midfield players to get on the ball.
Well, the key player in terms of all of that for Roma, as well as Iturbe, has to be the man who was just in your picture there, Florenzi, who has played as a sort of auxiliary striker in this very adaptable Roma side. He'd be the one with the pace and the energy to make those runs. I can't see it in too many of the others.
No, they're a good team, and it's dangerous for Liverpool to play that high, but obviously Brendan's had a look at it, thought there's not many players with any sheer pace.
That was a great touch from Florenzi, great awareness. Cole's first-time pass rather let him down. Here's Nainggolan. Now Ashley Cole's the one who makes the break in behind. Decent ball as well, and Totti got his knee to it but couldn't divert it on goal.
Well, there you go. Ashley Cole gets in behind Liverpool's back four. Great timed run, which he used to see him doing that for Arsenal when he was at Arsenal, and obviously when he's at Chelsea, but when I remember him at Arsenal doing that, playing with Henry on the left. Great ball in, really unlucky. It's just not quite a header. So they're awkward when they come at you that fast. You just try and get something on it outside of your knee, might go in the corner.
It's actually a great attempt at a finish, isn't it? It's an improvised finish.
There's not a lot you can do that. Sometimes if they're coming at your chest out, you can try and chest them in. I couldn't with a pigeon chest, but the big strikers can.
John Toshak could.
He's chested a few in, yeah.
Yeah, one or two decent Welsh strikers played for Liverpool over the years.
Well, Ian Rush obviously springs to mind. I was fortunate to play with him for such a long time with Wales, and then I played with him at Liverpool, but he was absolutely electric. His first 4 steps when he started running were just quicker than everybody, and his brain was quicker than everybody. I think he scored 350 odd goals for Liverpool.
Good recovery there from Allen, and Coutinho might have done better with that shot. Yeah, I suspect you learned a thing or two about striking from Ian Rush.
Yeah, well, I played with him all the way through, so I used to say to him, how do you keep catching the defenders when they've got the ball? How do you keep stealing the ball off them? Because I used to try and do it, and I couldn't do it. And he said to me, you're thinking the same time as them. I used to think before what they thought what they were going to do. So in other words, he was anticipating he'd just leave him little traps to run into the ball, and he'd steal the ball off him. But he was brilliant at it, and no one, in the end of his career, everybody noticed he was doing it, but because everybody watched his goals. But great player.
Great ambassador as well for Liverpool. Him and Robbie Fowler have been doing some sterling work out here in the States. Here's Skirtle. Now Kelly. There's that feeling, certainly, that Liverpool needs strengthening at centre-half. Daniel Agger, a little bit of a malcontent. That's why the constant links with Dejan Lovren. £16 million being talked about. With Benatia being linked with so many. Say City have gone for Mangala instead. Chelsea linked as well. You'd have to think you'd have a long look at him.
Yeah, I don't think Brendan's finished with his signings. It's really exciting, though, for the Liverpool fans.
It's going to be exciting to find out how they do without you-know-who.
Yeah, it's hard to replace Suarez, obviously, football-wise. You know, he's brilliant last year, him and Sturridge. Won so many games for Liverpool, just the two of them. It's a blow, but, you know, life goes on.
Foul there by Nainggolan.
Dalglish left, Rush left, Beardsley left, Michael Owen left, Robbie Fowler left, you know, and
yep,
they always get replaced. They always get replaced. And the club's more important than the players.
Here's Skirtle. Now Lajic. Must say, Lajic always looks to me like a player who needs pre-season. And he's playing like it at the moment. When he's sharp, he can be terrific, and he certainly had his best season of his career last season in Rome, but I think he takes a while to sort of crank it up and get into gear. But having said that,
I think he's a bit like Letizia and that type of player. They look as if they're not, but just silky. Moves the ball from one foot to the other around players who are trying to tackle him, goes past people easy.
There's Lajic. Iturbe back for Lajic. Roma have just upped it a gear here. And Coates responds, and now here's Jose Enrique. Now Nainggolan. Lovely touch from Totti, and a slightly overly fancy one from Lajic. And without wishing to be too critical, this is a game being played in a baseball stadium at what I might describe as a baseball pace at the moment. Iturbe, as someone looks for a home run before half-time. Lajic. Oh, that's Liverpool from last season, passing their way out of trouble. Remember when he scored that goal against Manchester City, it looked as if Liverpool were going to do it. Coutinho, but in the end they just faded. Just. They weren't far away, and nor were Roma. That's what's so interesting about this friendly, actually. Two teams with very similar seasons and very similar ambitions for next season. Hit from range by Francesco Totti, but in fact it was Nainggolan who hit it, but never quite dipping in time.
They're just getting in that pocket. There's 3 or 4 times they've got in that inside right pocket there, in behind Liverpool's midfield. It's up to Lucas there as the experienced player to make sure Coutinho and Joe Allen are slotting into the right areas so that they can't break that midfield line. They just seem to be, as you said, turning it up a gear. And if you let him get the ball to his feet in around the D, anything's possible.
Yeah, you're certainly asking for trouble, that is for sure. Roma have had so many issues with coaches in recent years. Experiments that haven't worked, Luis Enrique and Zdeněk Zeman notably, and so many eyebrows are raised when they went for Rudy Garcia, but what an inspired choice that has proved to be. And the players, the way they talk about it, you never hear Roma coaches, it's a combustible club, and you never hear them spoken about like he is spoken about. Been an extraordinary journey so far. Here's Lambert. Laic. Final 5 minutes of a sleepy first half in Boston. But enough of interest going on. Barini off injured, of course, and really strange and quite brilliant surroundings in many ways. Enough to keep us engaged, certainly, here. Roma with the biggest chance of the game. Trying to create another, and here goes Iturbe, and that's really well done by Coates. And then Enrique completes it, sort of. Here's Keita.
See, Coutinho is now playing on the left. They keep getting in the ball in this area because of him. He's not doing his job properly, defensively.
Going to show a card here, I think, on Raja Nainggolan. Didn't like that challenge at all. Must confess, I sound a bit silly, but I am in favour of cards in pre-season friendlies. Otherwise, you're just allowing people to do whatever they want, aren't you? You've got to apply the laws in some way.
Oh yeah, got to treat him as a normal game. He's just a little bit high and late.
I think that's fair enough, isn't it? Yellow card for that?
Yeah. Saying that since Coutinho's gone out onto the left, and obviously Shan's come and playing in the middle of midfield, they are making some headway down that side, Roma. So he just needs a shout from Lucas probably to say, get in, make sure you tuck in, make sure you're doing his defensive duties.
Poor old Shan, by the way, having already picked up that knock. Gets another challenge on him in another pre-season friendly. Are we going to get a breakthrough before half-time then? Here's Kelly. Now Ibe trying to run from that right-hand side. He's done well. Touched on by Allen. Curling shot was hit by Lambert, but it was well blocked. Benatia who got back there. This is better from Liverpool.
Yeah, it's great play from Ibe there. He's positive, gets the crowd on their feet, just swooped in off the right wing, used his pace, got away from a couple of defenders, released the ball at the right time. Good block in the end, otherwise it could have quite easily been a goal for Liverpool.
Little turn there from Laic, almost a midfield pirouette from him, and he felt he was dragged back by Coates. 12 times this stadium has hosted the Baseball World Series. It's no stranger to big names. Here goes Iturbe, maybe a big name of the future. Laic. Now Totti. Floated deep and headed behind by Martin Kelly. It's going to be a Roma corner.
And just a little bit too easy. Liverpool got a bit more intense when they press in around the edge of the box. 35 yards from goals. These are all great players. You give them time and space, they're going to pick somebody out.
Yeah, you'll get hurt in the end, won't you? Dear me. He's looking for one of those ones with a bit of devil and a bit of whip on it there, Florenzi, but it came to nothing. Here's Benatia. Sommer with the cross. Lambert hooking it away. Now Totti. He is just the master at keeping the ball.
Yeah, can't get the ball off him.
Just a minute to be added on at Fenway Park.
That's the run that's required. But we've seen lots of passes overhit, corners overhit, and I think it might be something to do with just the atmosphere and the ball.
Well, plenty of time to have a chat about it at half-time here at Fenway Park. I don't think either coach will be overly thrilled or indeed too disappointed. One real chance in the game so far, the one that Francesco Totti got a knee to and guided just wide of the goal. Aside from that, it's been played at a fairly quiet, fairly generous pace, and doubtless we'll see changes in the second half. But still, much of interest here at Fenway Park, and highlights to come as well as the second half live with us here on BT Sport. But half-time here, it's Liverpool 0, Roma 0. So plenty to look forward to here on BT Sport. Sunday 1:30 p.m. from the FA Women's Super League on BT Sport 1 and 1 HD Live. Arsenal take on Notts County. That's all to come, but tonight we're at Fenway Park in Boston. Liverpool 0, Roma 0 is the half-time score. It's been disappointing as a game, not though as a spectacle. Real welcome here for both of these clubs with such strong Boston connections through John W. Henry and James Pallotta as well of Roma, owners of the Red Sox and the Celtics. And it's interesting, in the big fan store, the World Football Store in the middle of Boston, it's been dominated by Roma and Liverpool kits for a couple of weeks now. Huge popularity here, but all they want now, of course, is a goal. What a boost, though, for football in this country after that World Cup. You just sensed, didn't you, in the World Cup, with the way the USA played, the drama of what they did as well, good and bad, that might just be the breakthrough. The viewing figures were absolutely extraordinary everywhere, and maybe that was the moment we'll look back on when soccer finally made it.
Yeah, I'm good friends with Brad Friedel, and we used to talk all the time about the football in the States. And he used to say that the main problem, I think, that the people have, all their games are like high-scoring games. You know, the basketball ends up 115 or 100, whatever and when they're watching a football match, it's no goals. They lose a bit of interest, but it's definitely getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the players are getting better and better out there.
Well, they won't like this one, if that's true. Goalless at half-time. We're still waiting for Liverpool to re-emerge. Roma are out there at the moment.
Be interesting to see what Brendan Rodgers does. He's got Jack Robinson and Agger he can bring on at the back. He's got Henderson and Connor Cody he can bring on in midfield. So can come on wide in a wide area. Peterson, who scored against Bromby, young striker, he can bring him on. But it'll be starting to think now, you know, some of these players need a bit longer than half a game and can leave them on and get a full game under their belt. And then he'll also be thinking about the England players he's got, or the internationals who've been away. When can he start introducing them? They've had a bit of a breather, an extra bit of time off. He want to be putting his main team together soon, so that they're all knitting in with each other. I mean, Ricky Lambert there, he's playing there. It's the first time he's played with some of these players.
Well, there are Liverpool's summer signings so far. Emre Can, we've already seen get injured and have a pretty strong challenge on him here. Ricky Lambert, of course, Adam Lallana and Lazar Markovic. Markovic and Lallana not involved here. But a lot of talent there.
59 million.
Yeah, already. Well, they got the Suarez money, didn't they? And they were determined to strengthen already. And plenty of talent, the likes of Jordan Ibe, players who are maybe prepared to make an impetus as well. We've already seen to decent effect in pre-season, so I think you can add the name of Loic Remy to that list fairly shortly as well. So it's a slow rebuilding process, and there is someone who's very much going to be part of that. Still distraught, I suspect, after that World Cup campaign. Of course, he's ended his England career, Steven Gerrard, but that's great news in many ways, Dean, for Liverpool fans, isn't it, that he can now concentrate solely on the club that he loves.
Yeah, it's obviously a sad day for all the England fans, because he's been a great player over the years. I mean, I've watched Liverpool for years and years and years, and he's won so many games on his own. You know, the really important goals he's got in the European Cup final and the FA Cup final. I've seen him score 2 against Inter Milan at Anfield one night, which was just out of this world from nowhere, and they were losing the game. He's done it year in, year out. Great player. Sad that he's not going to play for England again, but as you said, for Liverpool fans, he gets that rest in between international breaks, and he can just concentrate on keeping Liverpool at the top of the league. But when you look, you've got Glenn Johnson, Sterling, Sturridge, Jordan Henderson. I mean, these games really, for Brendan, he'll be thinking, well, it's a good exercise.
Well, he's all smiles, and why not? Managing a terrific football club, moving on and starting to build his team as well. Much of it built around that man. As you said, Glenn Johnson sitting alongside it. Pepe Reina's there as well, of course. Back from that loan spell for the time being in Naples, although he wants to go there permanently. We'll see how that one develops. It's always an interesting time, pre-season, in terms of signings right up until the last minute. Where do you stand on substitutions in these games then, Dean, as a manager yourself? Do you think make a bunch of them at half-time and let them work, or dribs and drabs? Which way do you like to do it?
Well, we used to write down, you know, we used to make, like, tot up the minutes they've played, so they're getting enough minutes under their belt before the season kicks off. I'm to use a sports scientist quite a lot, who actually make sure as the players, some of them take longer to recover from the training session, so you end up giving them 45 minutes instead of a full game. It's all a bit of a mishmash, really, pre-season. I used to like the 2 weeks before the season starts, then we can get my team on the pitch and get them ready for action. You can do all these set plays, and you've got new players who need to knit together.
You can see Daniele De Rossi in the background there. He's not involved, he won't be tonight. Yeah, I thought I saw Alessio Romagnoli, really talented player who's come through the youth at Roma. He is on. I think for Benatia. Very much a solid citizen at centre-half to play alongside Leandro Castan. So that's certainly one change. Romagnoli for Benatia. Sommer is still there. And Jack Robinson, who Dean knows well, is on as well for Liverpool. I'm sure they won't be the last changes. Here goes Florenzi. What a terrific cross volleyed in.
Great defending from Jack Robinson. It's a good early ball, volleyed into the box, and he's in the right place, not switched off.
This is more like it. Here comes Emre Can for Liverpool, just drifts away from Romagnoli. Well, more action in a minute 25 than we had in much of the first half there. Action at either end.
Both ends, and Shah, I don't know whether it was Shah showing a bit of pace there, or Romagnoli's a bit slow, but he went past him quite easily. Liverpool had 3 players in the box. Got to keep doing that. That's how you score goals, getting crosses in behind defences.
Well, Emre Can's always looked like one of those players who maybe hasn't got electric pace, but he's a strong runner over a distance, isn't he? I think with his physique, that's what you see from him, and maybe it was just a question of outrunning Romagnoli over
deceptive
a relative distance there.
He's deceptive. There's a few players like that, a few defenders I played against. The manager used to come off and say, "How can you not run him?" I said, "Gaffer, he's quicker than he looks." Laurie Madden was one. Do you remember Laurie Madden?
I do remember Laurie
Sheffield
Madden,
Wednesday. Laurie, he was one of them players that every manager used to think you could just run him, but he was quicker than he looked.
Well, it's not a bad thing to have. Back there from Coates. So for the time being, it looks like one change per side. I must confess, it looked as if Roma were trying to make 2 half-time substitutions, but it just seems to be Romagnoli.
Yeah, I'm pleased about that, because
there's Joe Allen. Certainly much
in substitutions half-time. We spend the first 10 minutes working out who's on and who's off.
It's a good drive from Coutinho, but flying just wide. He certainly had a word, though, Brendan Rodgers, at half-time. Yeah. I think 1 or 2 of these know they've only got another 20 minutes, and they're just giving it that little bit more of energy.
Well, yeah, I think this game is probably one of the last chances the likes of Barini had and Jordan Ivey to show, because Henderson and Johnson and Gerrard and Lallana, they'll all be playing soon, and then your shirt's gone.
Coutinho again tries one.
Do you know, he had about 3 or 4 shots against Bromby like that, and he's not hitting target enough for he's coming inside on his right foot. That's probably about 8 I've seen him do in the last 3 games. He just needs to work on that in training, just striking through the ball and hitting the target. He makes a half a yard easily.
Looked like a shove in the back there. Then again, Francesco Totti's always been a pass master at earning those free kicks, just waiting for the contact and almost refereeing the game.
And you know he's going to get a chance before the end of this game to score, a good chance. He drifts out of the game, he's not in it, but around the box, got a real sharp brain and great feet. Knows where to go to score.
Skirtle. Forward by Lucas. Here's Coutinho. See how desperately Ivy's trying to get involved. That is a poor challenge from Nainggolan, who has been booked. Well, little decision there for our referee Alan Kelly to make. Forward by Allen, wide from Coutinho. Chance for Lambert. Oh, it was a fresh air shot just about. What an opportunity for Ricky Lambert there.
Just a bit of sharpness. He's got in the right place. He just makes his run brilliantly. Gets across the defender. Good ball in. If you just watch again, he just sets off before the defender, gets across him. It's just a bit of sharpness, picking his feet up and getting the right contact, but it's a good early ball in.
In from Coutinho. Away by Keita. Little tug eventually by Florenzi. I just wonder with that Nainggolan challenge there, whether that's one where the coach should almost go, we'll make that substitution and take the pressure off the referee.
Definitely.
Because in a league game, he's off there, I think.
Yeah, sometimes the referee before the game will say to you, before I send someone off, you know, if I shout over to you, take them off. Take them off before I send them off. And all managers are happy with that. You don't want to see one of your players missing league games.
Yeah, I don't think that has been done here, but that would seem a sensible and fair way of doing it, certainly.
There's Lallana there. All Liverpool fans will be itching to see him play.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
The red shirt.
That sort of debate at the moment about what position he might play in for Liverpool. It's going to be fascinating to see how he adapts and where he plays.
Well, you know, that midfield three there, playing someone just behind the striker. He could play Lucas. He could play Gerard Henderson and Lallana. He's got Lucas and Coutinho he can play. And any of them, Joe Allen, obviously. It's real six strong midfield players there. I think he'll be happy with that. Up the front, looking good as well. Obviously lost Suarez, but
breaks here for Francesco Totti. Breaks now for Iturbe. Liach in the middle, but comes to nothing. But at least a game's breaking out here.
A bit more like it now. We've seen a bit of action. Bit of space.
Here they come again. Now Robinson. No way through for Emre Can. Slightly awkward from Seydou Keita. Perfect angle for Robinson to swing it in, but this is Coutinho now. See what Ibe was trying to do. Just didn't quite come off for him.
Well, Liverpool getting plenty of bodies forward now, and Jack Robinson playing at left back. Getting up in the last third. Great pass there with his left foot. I thought he was going to cross it into the middle of the goal, but he's picked somebody out, cut back to Coutinho, just couldn't get half a yard to get his shot off.
Little burst of acceleration here from Liach up against Kelly.
At the moment, both defences on top. Both goalkeepers not had anything to do.
There's Totti looking to thread a pass. He's threaded it beautifully. And that is a terrific bit of defending from Skrtel. The flag was up, but what a pass it was. Beautifully measured from Totti.
Yeah, great weight on the pass, and there's not many players can do this, what he's done there. It's a great pass with the right weight on it, and you have to say, it's a great challenge from Skrtel.
It was Mattia Destro who did come on at half-time for Iturbe. Such an improved season at Roma. Last season, Destro, having looked a bit of a dud signing, really grew into the role.
That's a rare thing, a goalkeeper taking a goal kick and kicking it down the pitch. You don't see that very often now.
Yeah, whatever next in these days of possession football.
Yeah, they're just rolling the ball out and playing across the back and working your way up the pitch. Sometimes you can score a goal from just a goal kick flick on in, or an early ball from the back men in behind for the strikers.
And it never hurts to mix it up. If only to make what you normally do that little bit less predictable. A lot of people feel that about Spain, for example, don't they? That they would have benefited greatly from occasionally trying to play it in behind. There's Castan.
Sorry, Nick, what was that?
Now Kelly to take the throw. You see Pepe Reina there in behind, barking out instructions.
I was surprised he left the club when he went on loan. He's ideal for the way Brendan wants to play. Obviously rates the other keeper better. Great skill, Coutinho.
Fantastic from Coutinho, and he's still going. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Best moment of the game so far, that, I think, apart maybe from the Totti pass as well. The two number 10s trying to turn on the style in this second half. There's Coutinho again. Now Ricky Lambert. Might have been going just wide, but Skorupski made sure. That's more like it from Liverpool.
No messing about, Ricky Lambert. English style centre-forward, touch and hit, left foot. Great strike with his left foot. Keeper had it covered.
That's a little touch from Coates, was a bit too subtle.
That was a poor header, really. It's a great chance, that is, for a centre-back. Yeah, left foot, strike, keeper had it covered. It's probably going wide. But he ain't passing that. He had one thought in his head, touch and hit.
Formerly of Stockport and Rochdale and Bristol Rovers, and of course Southampton, 106 in 207 for them. Joined Liverpool when he was 10, released at 15. It's one of the modern fairy stories, not just his England caps, but where Ricky Lambert's playing now. And it is testament. He should always keep believing. I'm sure as a fellow pro, I'm sure he's one of those players that you've got so much admiration for. All ex-footballers and current footballers must have.
Yeah, it's self-belief. You know, he's obviously kept the belief. You know, no disrespect to Rochdale and Stockport. If you'd have asked him, do you think you can play for England one day? He would have, himself, he would have probably said, no chance, a million miles away. But he's worked his way up the leagues, and as you said, 106 goals in 200 odd games for Southampton. He's made that club. He's got them where they are. And I was manager of Doncaster, obviously, and Wolves in the Championship when Southampton were trying to get up, and they used to play to his strengths. As I said earlier, every time anybody got in a crossing position, just dink it to the back post, and he's always there. And that's how he got most of his goals. So Liverpool can use him like that as well.
Gives them something different, as you said. Here's Ashley Cole now for Roma. Now Totti. All the way through to Brad Jones. Is that just a little grimace there at his groin, Francesco Totti? Roma fans will hope not. Maybe a bit of early pre-season stiffness. Roma came back to pre-season pretty late, actually. Only two other Serie A clubs came back after them. It's funny how those pre-season machinations tend to work out. It was only Verona and Cesena who started later than July the 15th. There's Sommer. There's Cole.
Pre-season's now not what it used to be, and the players not what they used to be. The players years ago would come back maybe half a stone overweight. These players now, they're educated, and obviously we all know a bit more about nutrition, and we have sports scientists who, they do everything now. They take their body fat, their weight, they get hydration tests, they have blood samples, and they've been educated, the players, so don't drink as much as they used to drink in our day. So you don't need to be running up mountains for 3-4 weeks. You can go straight into the games a lot quicker.
Well, Ricky Lambert will hopefully have much success in a Liverpool shirt in days to come, and here come all the changes. Here's the moment you've been waiting for, Dean, as Roma make 6, 7, 8 changes in one go.
Have you got all them?
We're doing our best. I can see Leandro Paredes there. I'm really excited to see in a Roma shirt. Sally Ushan's there with the hairstyle in the background.
They all look like Hugo Boss models coming on.
They do, don't they? That happens when you play for one of the top clubs in Serie A. Totti makes his way off, so does Nainggolan. On comes Marco Borriello as well. Must confess, I think Rudy Garcia's caught a few people by surprise with that rash of changes. We saw Christopher Pettersson come on as well in place of Ricky Lambert. There's Bogdan Lobont for Roma as well. Give us the next half hour and we'll probably get to the bottom of those Roma changes. Here's Coutinho. Looking for the Swede, Christopher Pettersson, who had a spell on loan at Tranmere last season. Been at the Liverpool Academy since 2011.
Yeah, he's a good goal scorer, good young player. Coutinho's done brilliantly there. He's took the ball on his back foot, turned. Great pass, just a little bit too heavy. Peterson was nearly in.
Here's Pedersen. Oh, lovely little shift in balance and punched away, and now Coutinho, and it's blocked. Just sense they're getting closer there, Liverpool. Looked very stylish in those World Under-20 championships that France ended up winning, but Turkey got to the knockout stages with Ushan in the centre of midfield. It's his corner kick. Someone said the most impressive facial hair at Roma since Cerezo. And then someone made a case for Damiano Tomasi as well, if you remember him. He definitely bossed it in that department, but he does look right for Roma somehow, as you say. There's a certain style that comes with it. Good player as well, though.
Yeah, I've followed him quite a bit. Obviously, I was in Turkey for a while. I was on the other side of the fence with Galatasaray, but he's a good young player.
And you're allowed to say if a Fenerbahce player plays well, are you?
I'm just about allowed to say it, yeah. It hurts saying it, but I have to.
The challenge there in the end by Destro.
He might take a set piece, by the looks of things, to get this game going. All the people at home trying to stay awake.
I think that pre-season excitement keeps you going. In from Coutinho, Skirtle was there to nod it home, but Agger got there first.
It's right on Skirtle's head, I think, and Agger does know that, obviously, and there it is. Skirtle's just about to head it. He's just about to head it in the net. But Agger should have scored, really. The hard bit was getting in the position. Great ball in.
I think there might have been a question mark about offside as well there, but the flag didn't go up.
You're right, I think he's just half a yard offside, but never give it. Great chance, though.
You said it. Might take a set piece, and it very nearly did. But still, we're goalless here. The ball just ran out of play there.
So I've not seen Jack Robinson for a while. In the last year or so, I've seen him on the TV playing for Blackpool, but you can definitely see he's got bigger and stronger, filled out a little bit, which is what he needed to do.
There's Romagnoli. Touched there by Emmanuelson. Hit long towards Destro. Now Borriello. Skirtle across to deal with him.
He's had a good game, Skirtle, I think. Not put a foot wrong. But there was just a longer pass, and the Roma player just picked the second ball up. So sometimes, you know, they're not long balls. You can hit long passes. The goal Suarez scored against Newcastle at Anfield was a punt from the goalkeeper down the pitch. Flick on. Great goal. So sometimes it pays. So it's like...
Also Kelly going off, and a chance for Connor Cody to make a pitch at first team football.
He done great for Sheffield United last season.
21 though, he's getting to that age. If he is going to make it at Liverpool, it sort of needs to be now, doesn't it? But he's determined to do so.
Well, these next 15 minutes or whatever's left, 20 minutes, are a big 20 minutes for him, because he's got to show Brendan Rodgers, don't sign anybody else, I'm your man.
Foul there by Stefano Pettinari, who spent last season, or much of it, on loan at Crotone in Serie B. One of the swathe of Roma changes that Rudy Garcia made all at the same time about 10 minutes ago. Arturo Calabresi on as well, Arnaldo Antonio. There's Robinson. Now Pedersen. Ushan got in the way. That was well done by Antonio. Now Ushan. Here's Borriello. Now Sally Ushan. Shaped to shoot, nearly found a way through. Dear me. Even in pre-season, it's a bit cocky there from Paredes. Roma have a free kick. Now, if Totti was still on, it'd be perfect for him. It was Calabresi who was brought down.
Yeah, Joe Allen there just dangling his leg out. Dangerous position here for a right-footer to just flip this over the wall, because you've got enough distance to just get that ball up and over the wall and down, a la David Beckham.
Well, Brad Jones just getting those angles right. Emmanuelson certainly over it with the left foot. I wonder, is it Paredes even with the right?
John, other side.
It is Emmanuelson who steps over, and it's driven at pace, and it was always flying high over the crossbar.
I don't know what option he's chose there. I thought he was going to flip that ball over the wall with his right foot, but he's gone for power there. I don't know what he was thinking, whether he's just tried to just drill it across the goalkeeper into the goalkeeper's side, but very difficult to score like that.
Well, final 20 minutes at Fenway Park. Paredes on loan from Boca, serious talent, a little bit in and out. He was always expected to be the next big player at Boca. It never quite happened for him. Didn't get much of a chance, in fairness, but he'll hopefully get one in Serie A. Talking of Boca, fascinating news, wasn't it, that the great Riquelme has gone back to Argentinos Juniors. He's going to play in the second division in Argentina next season, having left Boca. Back to where he started, as so many South American players do, but Something almost poetic about the fading of a talent like that.
Oh, we forgot about Torre. There's Torre sat there as well. Not involved. He done well last year.
Hard to see him having a gigantic role for Liverpool next season.
No, but he's one of them defenders you can stick him in at any time, and he slots in, talks, and pulls the rest of the defence together. You know, I always say to the defenders, your biggest weapon you got is your voice. You can cut danger out by just speaking and seeing things early and telling players in front of you where to go. And actually, you know, controlling that back line, moving it up and back, and working the strikers, getting the strikers away from the goal.
There's Agger. Here's Coutinho. Interesting that he stayed on, isn't it? Still trying to influence the game, getting a proper run out.
He's really good in them situations though, around the box when he's running with the ball. He finds people outside of his foot. Great pass for the ball, sees the pass that's required. Just his end product at times is not what you'd want it to be.
In your heart of hearts then next season, you keep an eye out for them, where would you see Liverpool finishing? Think they could do it?
Around about the same. I mean, they're in the Champions League now. See if that helps the league form or not, but they'll definitely be able to get better players in. You know, you want to, of all the clubs in the world, if you've got options to sign for anybody, you know, I'm a bit biased, I haven't played for the club, but if there's an option to sign for any club and there's no excuses, they're in the Champions League and the wages are all the same, I'd recommend anybody signs for Liverpool. Playing at Anfield every week was the best moments of my career.
Cleared away by Calabresi. Chance maybe for Roma to break. Pettinari thought he was fouled there. Coutinho scurried back though to pick it up. Here's Christopher Pedersen. Now Jordan Ibe, who struggled to influence this game as he did the first two pre-season games.
Yeah, he's playing against better players. And he's not getting as much as the ball as he got against Bromby.
Now Lucas. There's Balasha, the Romanian right-back.
For the end.
Oh dear, that's a confident call, Dean.
Yeah, well, there's lots of good players on that pitch. There's lots gone off. But there's lots of good ones on there who can score goals.
There've been lots of good players on the pitch for 75 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but to keep some of these quiet for 90 minutes, difficult.
Listen, I like the optimism. Let's go with that. 15 minutes to go.
I'm trying to keep everyone awake.
Here's Robinson. 15 minutes left. I think Dean Saunders just said we're going to get at least 3 goals, so stay tuned.
One, I said.
Now Skirtle. Well, Friday night, 3 AM, don't forget BT Sport 1 and BT Sport 1 HD. West Ham United against Sydney FC for you. And that's not the only action if you're a night owl. 5:30 AM Saturday morning. Again, BT Sport 1 and 1 HD, Newcastle against Wellington Phoenix. All of that flying your way as we continue our big build-up to the Barclays Premier League season, as Jordan Ibe, who's probably learnt a great deal here, makes his way off, and on to replace him is Suso, still only 20 years of age. Jordan Henderson on as well. What a key player he's going to be, and what a key miss he was at the end of last season towards the end with that suspension too. Really grown into being a Liverpool player, Henderson.
Yeah, I think he's one of them players that, as a manager, you love him. You ask him to play anywhere, do anything, he just gets on with the job, puts everything into every game. Doesn't have the quality of Coutinho on the ball, but he lets all the others do that, and he's prepared to sacrifice his own game just so that Brendan can get another flair player in the team, which is what happened last season when obviously Sturridge done better than everybody thought, and Suarez come back from suspension, and then you had to play the both of them and Steven Gerrard. So Henderson was the one who said, right, and Lucas is similar, he'll do a job for the team.
His first touch wasn't great there, Jordan Henderson. Plenty of time to put that right.
Everybody forgets he's still young. He looks as if he's got a bit bigger as well, just looking at him there. He's not stopped growing yet.
There's Calabresi. Ushan. Now Paredes. It's a fairly ambitious pass for Balasha. Robinson did well there. Still confident we're going to get a goal?
Yeah, I was just thinking there, Brad Jones has not really had a lot to do, has he? But I'm still confident we're going to get a goal.
Well, we've had 3 goalkeepers on, with Skorupski, Lobont and Jones, and I don't think any of them have made a save. I know Skorupski got across to parry away the Lambert shot, didn't he? That was probably going wide anyway. It has not been a game full of chances here at Fenway Park. Not many baseball matches finish 0-0. Away by Robinson as we approach the final 10 minutes in Boston. Here's Sanabria. Interesting player, actually, Antonio Sanabria, former Barcelona B player from Paraguay before making his way to Rome. Now Ushan. Oh, Jones under pressure, but he gets it away.
Not been many mistakes.
Great feet there from Balasha. Defender did just enough there to half stop the cross.
Great bit of skill there, Balasha, but not enough plays in the box.
Well, there always seems to be goals when they met these two.
I was going to say, you'd like to see both teams put another striker up there and come on, let's go for it. Just playing sideways football and keep ball.
Well, yeah, it's meant to be a spectacle. It's been a very respectful spectacle so far. Here's Agger. But it's so hard to judge these pre-season encounters. The amount of players who are missing, you can't really make a big judgment about either side on the basis of tonight. It's just a shame, really, for these fantastic supporters. They haven't had more to cheer. That would be the one issue you'd take from it so far.
Yeah, I was at Chester Crew match at the weekend, and some young lad came up to me and said, Liverpool are getting beat at Preston. I said, it's not Liverpool. It's like 75% of the team He's sitting on the bench. So, you know, you see these results pre-season and you think, oh, that was a... You don't know what team they put out. And how hard they've been training in between sometimes. You know, they have real hard sessions the day of the game. This morning, some of these players might have been running. And they use it as fitness exercise.
They were training at Harvard, actually. It's a late challenge from Lucas. That'll be a yellow card. Interesting start to the season, isn't it, for Liverpool? If you want Brendan Rodgers under instant pressure, as we see that tackle again. It's late there on Pettinari. But they start, as I said, at home against Southampton, which comes with its dangers. But then Man City away, Spurs away, Villa home, West Ham away, then the derby. That is not an easy start, is it?
Well, I don't know. Obviously, the Man City-Tottenham game's tough. But they should beat Southampton. Should beat Villa. And should beat West Ham, really. If you want to finish in the top 4, you've got to be expecting to win them games. With the other two. 2 draws, decent start. 3 wins, 2 draws. Sorted it out already.
There was me building it up. You've got them top of the league after the first 5. It's going to be so interesting again, though, isn't it? The Premier League season. What with Van Gaal and Arsenal making big signings and Mourinho maybe hitting his stride. An awful lot to look forward to.
Well, you don't see many games like this in the Premier League. Lots of the games every week in Italy are like this. You do a lot of commentating on these games. There's lots of 0-0s, 1-0s, and they're all a bit similar to this, nullifying the opposition, spoiling the game, actually, not opening up. But in the Premier League, that's why it's so great to watch. Both teams go for it most weeks. The fans demand it.
Here's Pedersen.
Roma, Palazza dietro, Palazza dietro, Palazza.
Adam Phillips is going to come on in a second. From Garstang in Lancashire. Another with a chance at the big time. Coutinho, the player to be withdrawn here. He gets a decent ovation and he deserves it as well. What an opportunity this is for a young man from Rainhill School, just 16 years of age. England under-16 international as well. Great moments for him. Looks 16 as well, doesn't he?
Very nice to see that, though. 16. Must give everybody in his school a boost, that.
Absolutely.
And all the Liverpool Academy.
All he needs to do now is to come on and score the winner. He's got 5 minutes.
Retire then. If you get the winner at 16 for Liverpool.
Here's Ushen. Now Ushen again. Here's Destro.
Well done, Skirtle again. He's had a great game.
There's Phillips. Neat first touch from him. Not really matched by Henderson. He goes in to win it. It's going to be a yellow card for him. He threw himself into that challenge. And Henderson just trying to calm things down and help out the young man. That was an impetuous tackle, though, Dean.
We didn't expect that from him. 16-year-old. It's a good sign, though. He's not overawed by anything. I know it's a good sign he's getting a yellow card, but at least he's gone in for the challenge. He's only seen the ball.
Left the ground as well, you know, making that tackle.
He's caught him with his trailing leg, I think.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been good for the school.
Yeah, Garcia is furious about that. And then has a little smile at Brendan Rodgers. I think Brendan Rodgers will probably show him the DVD of that and say, listen, some referees, if you play in the Premier League, would look at that differently if you leave the ground like that.
He'd be that desperate to do something and get the ball, and he's just gone and dived in.
Oh no, you totally understand it, but
yeah.
You know, good job he's got a friendly, smiling referee who clearly gave him a lecture and said, don't do it again. It's the right thing to do as well.
Yeah, I'm pleased he's getting a game at 16, because like most of the players I played with, you ask them, when did you make your debut? Normally 17, 18. But it's got a bit older and older now. Sometimes it's 21, 20 before they play their first game. But I think at 17, 18, if you're good enough, in you go. You're never going to be strong as you are when you're 21, but if your brain can get you to the ball first, on you go.
Yeah, why not? Plenty of players have made a huge impact at 18, certainly. How old were you then when you made your debut? Can you remember?
18.
18?
Yeah. Charlton away. Toshak was the manager.
Here goes Phillips, now a chance to make an impact. Oh, the throw-in's been given. Ball was out of play. Took a while to spot that. One back by Ushan. Here's Sanabria. Oh, nice swivel of the hips there from him, and he gets the shot away, and Jones had to make the save.
Well done, Brad Jones. It's a great save, great run, powerful, strong. From a bad angle, but Brad Jones was still moving. And when you're moving like that, your feet are moving, sometimes you can't get back to that one, but he's done his job. He's had hardly anything to do, made a save 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, particularly to get back across and low as well from Jones, even harder.
He hadn't set himself, and normally keepers try and set themselves. They can push off either way. He was still moving towards his near post, which made it more difficult for him to get his right arm out, and he got a good wrist on it.
Still time for a late winner. Final minute here. Little word there for Henderson and Calabresi. Be cruel for either side to lose it now. Lucas wins the header at the near post. Another chance, though, as it's shoveled wide by Ushan. Well, they're going to have another corner here. A little bit of late pressure for Brad Jones and Liverpool to try and withstand. Pettinari to take it. Oh, and it was dangerous, and it's gone in. Borriello got the touch. I think in the end it might be an own goal, but Borriello will argue his case. Roma have scored in the last minute here. Marco Borriello, back from that lone spell in England to give Roma a win here at Fenway Park. No, well, it's bounced off Agger. It's bounced off Agger, I think. I thought he looked a bit sheepish there, Dean.
Yeah, it's come off Agger. He's not even touched it. And then it's gone through Jack Robinson's legs, which got a little deflection on the way through, but I knew there was going to be a goal, but it's gone in the wrong end, unfortunately. That is just one of them things. It's not easy. He's marking properly. It's just got a little deflection. I think it was off his knee onto his hip, through Jack Robinson's legs, off the inside of Jack's heel, and that does Brad Jones on the line. Ball's deflected past him, so no time to recover.
It's funny how players are different, isn't it? Do you remember Antoine Griezmann in the World Cup for France when he was being congratulated for a goal and he was waving his finger saying, no, it's an own goal, don't congratulate me. Borriello milking the moment there, despite knowing full well he hadn't touched it.
I can't criticise him for that.
Did you used to do that?
I used to follow the linesman, the ref, into the dressing room. I used to go in the dressing room and say, make sure you put my name in your book. And you send it to the FA. I got a touch.
I'm not going to ask how many goals that counted for.
They all add up, don't they? Nobody wants an own goal.
Well, we got the goal that you predicted. I'm not quite sure we got it how you predicted, but Roma found a way, just like they did here at Fenway Park a couple of years ago. It's the 6th competitive match between the two.
I was going to say, if you look in the dictionary under a 0-0 for a football match, this game was in there.
Yep.
There was 0-0 written all over it, and it was something like that, a freak goal. But the worst part of the night is Barini's injury, really, not the result. At least the fans have seen a goal. Hopefully Barini's shoulder's okay.
So there is the final whistle. It looked for a long, long time as if we wouldn't have a goal, and in the end, Rudy Garcia can smile. Roma nick a win, but they do so in pretty fortunate circumstances. The ball rebounding off Daniel Agger, rolling agonisingly past Brad Jones from a corner kick. Just one of those moments you have to put down to experience. And Roma just sneaking home. They'll be thrilled with that. As for Liverpool, well, still plenty of big players to come back, of course. Brad Jones doesn't look too concerned by the defeat, does he? And Borriello, I think, felt he was the match winner, but I think knows deep down he's not the match winner. Well, that was an interesting little experiment, wasn't it, at Fenway Park? An interesting atmosphere too. But Roma getting another victory over Liverpool. Coming up, BT Sport 1 and 1 HD, pre-season friendly West Ham against Sydney FC, Friday night, 3 AM. And don't forget that FA Community Shield, Arsenal Man City, Sunday the 10th of August. So that's all to come. Well, tonight didn't provide the entertainment we might have hoped for, but plenty of little subplots to keep us interested. Roma grabbing the win right at the end with that Agger own goal. Hope you enjoyed it. Roma winning it by a 1-0 from Boston. Goodbye.